Before I get into some Eminem and MGK stuff, I just want to talk about how important it is and crucial that you plan your career before you release any content or before you release any music, because first impression is everything. Immediately, I thought about Jay-Z while I was thinking about this. And if you look at the image of, okay, let's take it back to 1996 when Jay-Z was 26 and he released his first album, Reasonable Doubt. And you see the image of him wearing a fedora cap in a suit and he's clutching on a cigar. If you see Jay-Z today as a 48-year-old man wearing a fedora cap with a suit on, holding a cigar, you wouldn't think anything of it. And I think that goes to the brilliance of Jay-Z, of how he's just continued to stay relevant over the years. Survived 3 decades. And wow, it's the perfect. Jay-Z is the perfect story, the perfect business model that any rapper should look at. And what's amazing about this is that we're still currently looking at the Jay-Z story. He's still in that story. He's still in his lane. When he says stuff like, "I'm holding out for free, 275, and I just might agree." It's typical Jay-Z stuff, and it's just a page out of his book. And it's funny because if you look at some other rappers, you can clearly see that they're not living in their story. Their story has ended a long time ago, but they're trying to latch onto somebody else's story or somebody else's book because, they're stuck. They don't know what to do. It comes a point where I guess a rapper reaches the age of, I guess, 35, and you're at that age where you don't. It would look stupid. It would look stupid if you tried to continue a story that happened in your 20s. It just wouldn't work. And your consumers, your fans, they're not stupid. They can tell. And I think that's why Jay-Z has continued to thrive, because he's 48 years old, but still relevance. The content of his music is so relevant, and you expect him to talk about the stuff that he talks about because he's been mature from the very start. And I think the same could be said for Rick Ross as well. Rick Ross has got that mature mafioso raps, that luxury rap. Rick Ross is so luxury. And how this segues into Eminem is, taking it back as well. When Eminem was 26, the Marshall Mathers LP days, 26, 27, and the majority of the music that you're putting out that Eminem recorded was, revolved around, his relationship with Kim, his dysfunctional upbringing with his mom, and, lots of satire and, the drug use. Eminem is, man, just phenomenal, just an amazing rapper. He's in my top 5. Marshall Mathers LP is one of the best albums to ever touch the planet. It's just when he hit. and But I think the unfortunate thing about Eminem's career is that when you start off like that, when your first impression is that, and it's so great and it's so amazing as Eminem was, we're always going to want that. Like, I remember just looking at some tweets of people saying that I want Eminem back on drugs again. because that's when he released Marshall Mathers LP, and that's when we loved him the most. But to be 45 now, it kind of if you're okay, I can imagine Eminem being 26, being so successful, then being 35, still being successful, and then reaching a point where, okay, I'm successful now. I'm probably the best rapper in the world. Now what? Now what do I do? And your fans, your fans they're not stupid. They can see the moment where a rapper tries to make the fans feel stupid, like they can't see what's going on, then that's when they start to turn around. And I think the same could be said for Lil Wayne as well. I remember seeing some tweets of people saying, I want Lil Wayne on lean again, or I want Lil Wayne on drugs. But yeah, wow. But with that being said, there I feel that there is a massive window for MGK to capitalize on. A massive, massive window. There's so much to say. There's so much to say. Oh man, I'm a shady fan at heart. I love Eminem. But there is a massive is a massive window to capitalize on. Who remembers when Eminem had beef with Everlast from House of Pain? If you remember that song, I Remember by Eminem, fuck. It's amazing how things can just can do a whole 360. If if I was MGK, if I was MGK, I would listen to that song by Eminem called I Remember, and I would study that shit. And yeah, I would just press on all the pressure points that Eminem used to do. You know, it sucks when you have a beef with somebody who was a fan of you. There's so much to say, man. There's so much to say. And I don't know, man. I'm rooting for you, M, but this this MGK kid, he's got a lot of choices. It's the rap expert checking out.